Yeah. Good. So she then asks us, well, what about modern philosophies, right? What do they do in terms of this coming up with the idol and ultimate reality? And she says, yes, they do the same thing. The prevailing view among the new atheists, among which much of the academic world, is scientific materialism, right? What is ultimately real is matter, molecules in motion. And so materialism is committed to the dogma that physics explains all of chemistry, chemistry explains all of biology, and biology explains the human mind, which with nothing left over. Even the mind. Human mind is explained in terms of physical things, right? Now, of course, materialism is also called physicalism, right? Again, it's the same idea that everything is the physical universe is all that there is.
Right.
That's what
right.
everything is made up of.
Yeah, your personality are synapses firing off. You're a collection of your memories that are just a bag of goo that's sliding around in your head, and you get brain damage, and there goes part of your personality. That's not your. There's no ultimate transcendent person in you. Right. That's just
non-material.
Molecules that have motioned in a different way. Then.
Right. And so is this view religious? Of course it is, right? She quotes John Searle. There is a sense in which materialism is the religion of our time. End quote. Right. So yes, this view is of course religious. Another writer says, quote, "I believe a material explanation will be found, but that confidence comes from, notice this, my faith that science is up to the task of explaining in purely material or naturalistic terms the whole history of life." End quote. So, he concludes, my faith is well-founded, but it's still a faith, right? It's a faith that science, in terms of materialistic views and materialistic explanations, will be able to find this whole, what the life is all about.
Yeah,
right?
And if you want to take faith and throw it out there, then, okay, he's confident. Well, confidence is where we derive the term faith from. So that's pretty much all it is. So when you say, do you believe that your spouse is faithful? Do you have confidence in your spouse is what you're saying.
So you're using that word in the same way, right? And she quotes Carl Sagan, that famous quote from the Cosmos, right? The cosmos is all there is or ever was or ever will be. Clearly, that's a statement of materialism or physicalism, right? Mm-hmm. So that's it. That's the ultimate reality. Carl Sagan was suggesting. She also quotes Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? He Tyson sometimes called his followers sometimes call his position Tysonism, right? It's defined as a secular religion based on the philosophy of Dr. Tyson, right? The page lists under the category church religious organization, Tysonism is listed in this particular book. So, materialism is the idol, the ultimate reality that is much enforced during our time. Now, she says it's really a cluster, it's a family of related philosophies, right? For example, when we apply materialism or physicalism to the economic realm, materialism gives rise to theories like Marxism, right? So that's just a materialistic theory that's applied to the economic realm. Right.
Even within Marxism, you have the idea that it is humanity at its base concept good, predominantly good. Yeah. And they say yes. Yeah. So it makes a moral claim within itself. And obviously, you're going to have those people that say, no, my Marxist view is, Lenin-Stalinist, it's anarcho-communist. So there are different forms of it, but for the most part, when it comes to human explanation, there is still a moral claim, and then from there it derives from these materialistic principles.
Yeah,
too.
good. Yeah, and in fact, she kind of lays out here how Marxists, in terms of materialism, gets us to this particular end. Right? She says, what are the logical steps that led from materialism to Marxism? With its economic determinism. She says, well, bear in mind that human nature is always defined by its relationship to ultimate reality. So, our relationship to ultimate reality, that's how we define humans, right? So if the ultimate is matter, then humans are defined by the way that they relate to matter. And how do people relate to matter? Well, they make things out of it, right? They manipulate it, that kind of stuff. They mold and manipulate and manufacture items that they need, clothes, houses, tables, and that sort of thing. And so in Marxism, the tools we use to shape matter are called the means of production, right? So that's where she's going. Thus, she says the history of civilization hinges on who owns the means of production. And so in a Marxist economic conditions, the idea, the economic conditions for Marxists then become the ultimate explainer of what's going on.
Yeah.
And so it gets us to that same type of deal.
Yeah, and obviously we're covering these very briefly in overview.
Right.
But a lot of this, a lot of good work could come from just analyzing Marxism from that point and drilling down from its divinity and then working up to where it lies for explaining the world, explaining how we got here,
right,
and explaining kind of human behavior. And so I'm sure people have done that, and those resources are out there. But it's really interesting that we can do this.